right, after a little too much excitement, I have the Bridgeport in the shop. Mostly I wanted to get it off the trailer, get it out of the cold, get it into the warmth. That way the motor wasn't subjected to any outside very cold temperatures for an extended period of time. I used the pallet jack and the 4066 to get in here. I was doing all that by myself. And between doing it by myself and the cold weather, just had no desire to do it, to take a video of it. I didn't. It's just not, the camera batteries died too fast and I'd be changing those out. And I was losing daylight and I wanted to get it done. Did have a little bit of an interesting moment. I don't know, probably as I was getting in the door, it over-centered itself and started rolling. And I actually hit the door, the jam to the garage door. And so that was not fun, but here's what it is. I wasn't in danger. The only damage is to the garage door, not the mill itself. So doing pretty good. This is where it hit. The head was still rotated. I got to rotate the head back down, but I figured I would at least set it up so you could see it in this video, kind of go over what all I need to do to it. So this is a 1988, I believe. Serial numbers down here on the bed. BR252 are the first numbers of it. There's other serial numbers. There's this serial number and there's this serial number. I don't know how all of those overlap, etc. But basically the story I got is this was used by a some type of shop that did form work, and then the guy I bought it from had it for a year. It's extremely dirty. You can kind of see just the dirt and the grease and the grime on it. I got to get all that cleaned up. The Bridgeport branded crossfeed seems to work pretty good. So turn it on, and now the machine's not hooked up to 3-phase power, so this is the only function that works right now. There seems to be a little bit of delay in the reverse. Not quite sure why. I might have to dig into that. Rapid traverse works really well. So that works. Like I said, I got the handle in the previous video. I'll get it all cleaned up, but you know, if this is one of those machines that I have wanted for quite a while. You know, this is not necessarily the best unit out there, but you know, it fits my needs. And so the Dro mounts right here. And I'll go over all the functions that I've learned, and I will continue to learn as I get into it. These machines are not necessarily inexpensive to buy, but what they allow you to do between this and a lathe, you can do a lot of really, really cool things. For those of you that watch Squatch 253, they've recently got a mill. It's not a Bridgeport, and you don't need a Bridgeport. Any mill will work. I mean, it can be a Chinese knockoff. It can be, you know, whatever fits your budget. But something like this, a precise drill, for lack of a better term, is really, really beneficial to a shop, much like a lathe. Just last night, I took my lathe over here, and I had a quick hitch bushing on my John Deere 4066. I got tired of switching some quick hitch bushings back and forth because I had one that was a little too long. So I just chucked up the quick hitch bushing in my lathe there and milled, you know, a couple thousand, or probably about 25 thousandths off the end, and it fits just like a champ. And then the Brown and Sharp number 2 Universal is more or less a really, really long-term project. I've had a couple people ask about it. If you can tell all the crap piled on it, it's going to be there a while. I actually may move it. I actually now have the machinery dollies to move it. So I may move it. It may go down there. This Bridgeport, on the other hand, is actually going to sit where the press is currently sitting. And it will face this way. So in other words, it will face toward the mill head will be towards the air compressor. So I got to clear out all that. And that way, when I clear out all that, then I can move the Bridgeport in there. But I think for right now, I'm just going to work on cleaning it up. So a couple of features that I've learned on this Bridgeport that I have, and I haven't figured out how they work yet, is so we have the one-shot lube. I guess that's what that is. So we'll have to get that, make sure it's nice and clean, everything. I got to vacuum it all up. I really want to go over all the surfaces, make sure they're nice and clean, because frankly, this thing is such a mess at the moment that I'm really hesitant to even use it. I don't think it was like this for very long, so I don't think it's too bad. We obviously need to get it hooked up to power. So I will do this, and then I have to figure out what this is right here. This was for, I have the solenoid for it, but I don't know what the actual air attachment was for. There was an air dryer right there. And I think I already mentioned this, but the X and Y axis DRO goes right there. I just took it off for transport. And we'll get it all cleaned up and get it what they call trammed in. For those of you who don't know what that means, is make sure everything is square. Because I had the head rotated down, and so you cannot, basically you can't assure that the head is actually parallel with or a bit would be parallel with the table. So I'm going to have to do that. And, because even though this says 0 right there, I'm pretty sure it's going to need some adjustment. And plus I have to rotate it back down to get it underneath this beam right there. So the way these work is they have 2 speeds. You have your slow and your fast. So kind of like a back gear in a lathe. So you can do tapping, things along those lines. And this would be your kind of your milling speed, for lack of a better term. And we'll find out more about that as I go through. If I told you what all the knobs and levers did at the moment, I would be lying to you. And so I'm not going to do that. But I think for right now, I'm going to work on getting this area all right here cleaned out. Thought I was going to have to sneeze there for just a minute. Get that area cleaned out, and we'll get this pushed into its place. I may do some cleaning on it while it's sitting out here, while I have a little bit better access. One of the things I do know that I'm going to need to do before I completely set it down on the ground is I want to build because the shop floor is unlevel. Had a friend kind of come up with a really good idea on supports for this thing. So I've got some 1-inch thick steel bar that came out of a F145 plow, a John Deere F145 plow. I'm going to take that and I'm going to build a foot system for it. And that way I can adjust those feet. I'm going to get some more feet for it, but that way I can adjust the feet that I'm going to put on that 1-inch thick steel. That way it is level, sitting on the garage floor. So that is something that I do need to do. That'll be in the future. So let me get busy cleaning everything up. I might work on cleaning up the mill before I get too busy over here, just because I want something easy to do tonight. It's already a little past 9 o'clock, so I don't have a heap of time before I run out of go-go juice for the night. So I'm going to work on a little bit of everything, and then hopefully next couple days we'll get it slid over. I think power-wise, because it is a 3-phase machine, I think what I'm going to do is, much like I've done with the lathe down here, is I will get another VFD, and I'll show you how I have this set up. I've been working on organizing all of this stuff down here, but I think what I'll do is I'll get another VFD like this right here, and with that VFD, I will actually put it in a different box. I thought about mounting it right here, and I still may, but it would require me taking all of this apart. And I think it's just better if I just put it in a different box. So I may get a different box and put the box right down here. Put it right in here somewhere, and then run the cord out to the lathe or to the mill that way. So the mill will actually probably sit right in here. Basically allow table travel to go back and forth, and it's not running into the table travel for this machine. This machine is like I already said in this video, this is going to be a complete it is a complete project. I do really want to use it one day. I think is absolutely awesome, but it weighs 4,500 pounds, and it's just not very easy to move. And I've considered actually moving it farther down. One of the things I did say I was going to show you in a previous video is the machinery movers that I bought. So lots of different ways to move machines. This was all of my tackle and everything for my trip. But in here we have, and now not sure I piled everything on here. So these are machinery dollies. And if you've never used any, I would highly recommend them. These are a little bit too big for what I wanted. I wasn't quite paying attention. I thought it was 13,000 pounds for a set of 4, not 13,000 pounds a piece. So each one of these will hold 13,000 pounds. You can put them on there. These are like $60 a piece. And so you get a set of 4, and then you get a handle to move them, which is this orange handle right here. Basically, then you can kind of pull and push on them. And that's how I will move it in the future. What I'm hoping to do is develop some type of system where I can set these on there if I want to move this in the future. But mostly I bought these so I can move the Brown & Sharp. So I'm going to get busy working on a lot of this stuff, and then I'll come back and show you my progress here in a little bit. Well, after a little bit of fussing and fighting with me, I got it kind of in its new home. It's not in perfect position. I do want to angle it a little bit more. I've got to decide if I want to leave that machine there or not. Because the table, I don't want the tables to collide with one another. So I could just drive this in there straight, but when that table's all the way off to the side, it could run into that table. And so I just got a little bit of figuring on how I want to do it. I'll maybe move this machine forward. We'll have to see. So, but I got it in its new home, got it kind of set up. Like I said, I got to wait for a VFD to get here to do too much more with it. I got it kind of pulled back a little bit on the... got the arm pulled back a little bit. I don't know the technical term. Sorry for those of you that do. Got a little bit of the ways cleaned up. They look pretty good. Got some nicks in them, but overall, I mean, the scraping looks pretty good for the oil. You know, overall, I think it's in pretty good shape. I got a little bit of the body cleaned up. Got a lot more to do on it, but I'll keep working on that slowly over time. Got a little bit of the case cleaned up. I was using this WD-40 degreaser. This is it's a oil-based or a petroleum-based degreaser versus a biodegradable one. I really like it because you don't have to rinse it off. It kind of just evaporates on its own. So, but I got the first layer of crud taken off. I obviously, because where I want to put it, it's right underneath the light. So I'll have to do something with that. I'd like to maybe go farther back a little bit. But I really gotta make some decisions there. So, overall, and I got some of this up here cleaned off as well. I got pretty much all of the cross feed or the crossbar cleaned. Still got a long ways to go, but every little bit helps. So got that all cleaned up. Really liked that. Got some of the face cleaned up as well. So at this point, now it's just down to, I've got to find somewhere to where I want to put my press and just keep on cleaning in here. I don't know if a lot of you watch my channel, but I've obviously got a mess in the shop I've got a lot of square footage, but I've just got a bunch of junk around. So I'm slowly going through and purging junk and stuff like that. So that'll be kind of in conjunction with this. I'll get the VFD ordered, and hopefully we'll have a running mill in a few weeks and go to town. I do need to get those bars cut and the feet ordered and everything, and we'll kind of go from there. So I think that's it for this video. If you have questions, comments, obviously when it comes to machinist stuff, whether or not it be the mill, the lathe, or even this project right here, happy to have any comments. I don't know what I'm doing, so this right now I'm paying tuition. So if you have free tuition, I would free education as part of my tuition, I would certainly be glad to hear it. So thanks for watching.